The city of Varelia 9 never slept. Its towers shone like crystal spears rising from a dark ocean, each window reflecting the pulsing glow of 1,000 neon signs. Aircars moved silently between buildings, their trails of light fading like comets in the night. Down below, where the light could not reach, the streets were wet with chemical rain and the air smelled of metal and dust. That was where Marcus Hale walked, alone, his long coat pulled tight against the cold. He had been on Varelia for 3 months. Officially, he was a trade consultant from Earth, here to negotiate new routes for Terran goods. Unofficially, he was an undercover agent working for the Interstellar Bureau. His mission was to trace the Oral Syndicate, a powerful criminal network that trafficked in genetic technology, stolen DNA, artificial organs, and sometimes living beings. He had seen terrible things in his life, but what the Syndicate did made his blood run cold. He turned a corner and passed a group of Varelians. Their skin shimmered in shades of violet and blue, their eyes like polished silver coins. They looked at him with quiet suspicion. Humans were rare here, and most locals didn't trust them. Earth's expansion into alien territories had not always been peaceful, and the scars of that history still ran deep. Marcus tried to keep his head down. He was here for justice, not politics. His hidden comm device buzzed softly in his ear. "Hale," said a calm voice. It was his contact, Commander Leon from the Bureau. "You're near the lower sector." The signal from the stolen core was detected nearby, possibly in an abandoned market district. "Proceed with caution." "Understood," Marcus whispered. "Any local law enforcement?" "None. They've been paid to look away." The line went silent. Marcus sighed. He had grown used to that kind of silence. In the underworld of Varelia, everyone looked away. The rain started again, falling like tiny glowing crystals. He kept walking until the streets grew narrow and dark. Old market stalls stood empty, their metal roofs rusted and bent. The only sound was the distant hum of power lines. Then he heard it, a quiet sob. He turned his head. From the mouth of an alley, a figure moved. A girl stepped out, shivering, clutching something close to her chest. Her skin was light purple, almost translucent under the streetlight, and her hair shimmered with faint silver strands. She couldn't have been more than 16. When her eyes met his, she froze. Marcus raised his hand slowly, showing he wasn't a threat. "It's okay," he said gently. "I'm not going to hurt you." She looked terrified. Her voice was soft, shaking. "You're human," he nodded. "That's right. You're from the Bureau, aren't you?" Marcus's muscles tensed. He didn't answer. The faint glow of his Terran badge must have caught the light when his coat shifted, because her expression suddenly filled with dread. She took a step back. "Please," she whispered. "Don't arrest my sister." He blinked. "Your sister?" The girl's silver eyes shimmered with tears. "She didn't mean to steal it. She just wanted to help. Please, she's not a criminal." Marcus kept his voice calm. "What did she steal?" "You know what," she said quietly. "The biocore." He felt a cold wave of realization. That was what he had been sent to find. "Where is she now?" "She's trying to destroy it before they can use it," the girl said quickly. "If they turn it on, it'll change everything." She only wanted to stop them, not hurt anyone. Marcus frowned. "Who's they?" Before she could answer, a deep rumble echoed through the distance. The night sky flashed bright blue for a second, followed by the sharp crack of an explosion. The ground trembled. Marcus's training took over. He scanned the horizon and saw a column of smoke rising from the west side of the district. The girl's voice broke. "That's her." "They found her." Marcus grabbed her arm gently. "We have to move." "What's your name?" "Rin," she said. "All right, Rin, you're going to tell me everything while we move." She hesitated. "You'll take me to her?" "If she's in danger, yes. But you have to trust me." Rin looked into his eyes for a long moment, then nodded. Together they ran through the dark streets. The rain grew heavier, glowing faintly under the neon lights. Marcus could hear distant sirens and the high-pitched hum of plasma weapons. As they ran, Rin spoke in short breaths. "My sister. Her name is Kara. Used to work in the labs for the Syndicate. They forced her to design new DNA patterns for soldiers. When she found out what they were doing, she tried to stop it. She stole the core to keep them from finishing it." "What's in the core?" Marcus asked. Rin hesitated. "It's a seed, not just data. It can rewrite life itself. They said it could make anyone stronger, faster, perfect. But Kara said it kills the soul. Marcus frowned. Kills the soul? She meant it takes away what makes someone real. It replaces them. They turned another corner. In the distance, Marcus saw smoke and flashes of light from plasma fire. He slowed down and looked around. The lower district was a maze of alleys and broken bridges. The old infrastructure of the city had been abandoned after new towers were built above it, leaving this place to the poor and the forgotten. Suddenly, a voice echoed from behind them, a metallic growl. There, the human has her. Marcus spun around. Out of the shadows came two syndicate enforcers, tall figures in dark armor with red optics glowing in the rain. Their weapons hummed to life. Marcus pushed Rin behind a metal pillar and drew his concealed plasma pistol. Stay down, he shouted. The first enforcer fired. A beam of blue light seared past Marcus, hitting the wall with a flash. He returned fire, striking one in the chest. Sparks flew and the enforcer fell, smoke rising from its armor. The second charged forward, swinging a mechanical arm. Marcus ducked, kicked its leg out, and fired again. The sound of plasma echoed through the alley, and then there was silence except for the rain. Rin stared at him wide-eyed. You're a soldier. Not anymore, he said, reloading. Come on. They hurried onward, climbing a set of stairs that led to a broken walkway overlooking the lower sector. Below them, the city glowed in fractured patterns of light. Smoke drifted up from several burning stalls. Marcus could see movement, armed figures searching the area. Somewhere out there was Kara, the sister who had stolen the most dangerous piece of tech in the sector. Rin stopped suddenly. Wait, she whispered, pointing. Marcus followed her gaze. Across a gap between buildings, on a rooftop bathed in violet light, a figure was standing, taller than Rin, same purple skin, wearing a torn lab coat. In her hands, a small metallic sphere pulsed with soft blue light. Even from a distance, Marcus could feel its strange energy. That's her, Rin breathed. That's Kara. Marcus studied the rooftop. Several syndicate soldiers were closing in on her. She didn't seem to notice them. Her focus was entirely on the device. Marcus cursed under his breath. The gap between buildings was too wide to jump, and the bridge that once connected them had collapsed long ago. We can't reach her from here, he said. We need another way. There's an old maintenance tunnel below, Rin said quickly. It connects both sides. Show me. They descended into the shadows, entering a narrow tunnel filled with pipes and steam. The air was thick and hot. Marcus's boots echoed on the metal floor. Rin led the way, using her faint bioluminescent skin to light the path. It felt endless, the hum of machines all around them. Finally, they reached a ladder that led upward. Marcus climbed first, then helped Rin up. They emerged on the opposite rooftop, only 50 meters from Kara. The syndicate soldiers had surrounded her, weapons aimed. Marcus raised his gun but hesitated. One wrong shot could hit the core, and he had no idea what would happen if it was damaged. Kara shouted something in her native tongue. Marcus couldn't understand the words, but the tone was defiant. One of the enforcers stepped forward. Hand over the core, Doctor, he said in a deep metallic voice. You know it belongs to the syndicate. Kara's eyes burned with fury. It belongs to no one. You think you can play gods with life itself? I won't let you. Marcus moved closer, staying low. Rin watched from behind a vent, whispering, She's going to destroy it. She'll die if she does. Not if I can stop this, Marcus said. He took aim, fired twice, and 2 enforcers went down. The rest turned in surprise. Kara looked up, seeing the human for the first time. For a brief second, her eyes widened with confusion. Marcus ran toward her as plasma bolts tore through the air. He reached her side and grabbed her arm. We have to move. Who are you? She demanded. Bureau, he said. I'm not your enemy. You'll take it from me, she said bitterly. Maybe, but if you stay here, they'll kill you before I can ask why. Kara looked torn, her fingers trembling around the glowing sphere. Then she nodded reluctantly. Fine, but Rin, where is she? Safe, Marcus said. Come on. They sprinted toward the edge of the roof where an old lift shaft stood open. Marcus fired a burst of covering shots while Kara climbed down. He followed her, sealing the hatch behind them. For a moment, everything was silent except for their breathing. Kara held the core close. Its light flickered faintly, casting blue shadows on the walls. You don't understand, she said softly. This thing, it isn't just a weapon. It's a message. What kind of message? Marcus asked. It's proof, she said. proof that humans built the first version. The Syndicate only copied it. Your bureau started all of this, Marcus froze. That's impossible. Kara's voice was tired, almost broken. Is it? You think your world's hands are clean? They made this to control evolution, to decide who was worthy to survive. I worked on their... The skimmer cut through the mist like a silver arrow, leaving behind the chaos of Virelia's lower docks. Marcus hung on to the edge, feeling the engine's vibrations through his palms. Kara sat beside him, holding the glowing biocore close, her silver eyes fixed straight ahead. Rin was at the controls, hands steady despite the terror that flickered in her wide eyes. The city disappeared behind a curtain of fog, but Marcus knew the Syndicate wasn't far behind. Where are we going? He shouted over the roar of the engine. Kara didn't look at him. Somewhere they can't find us. Somewhere we can make this right. Right? Marcus asked, his voice carrying both doubt and curiosity. You know this core could be dangerous, right? One wrong move and it could... It won't, Kara interrupted sharply. Not if we're careful. It's not a weapon, not really. It's proof. Proof of what your people started and what the Syndicate twisted. We can stop them and we can show the galaxy the truth. Marcus studied her for a moment. She was small, almost fragile-looking, but her voice held the steel of someone who had faced impossible odds. Somehow he trusted her. Somehow he had to. Rin spoke then, her fingers gripping the controls. I can take us to the safe house. It's hidden under the old research district. No one goes there anymore. Even the Syndicate avoids it. Marcus nodded. Lead the way. The skimmer dipped into the low clouds, weaving between the skeletal remains of old towers. From above, the city looked like a broken maze of glass and steel. Plasma fire still flickered faintly from the distance, the remnants of the Syndicate's chase. Marcus felt a knot in his stomach. Every choice from this point could change countless lives, and yet he didn't regret being here. Not yet. They landed in a narrow courtyard concealed under the shadow of a collapsed bridge. The safe house was an old research facility, abandoned decades ago when Virelia had shifted most of its scientific activity to the upper towers. The doors were rusted but functional, opening with a hiss that echoed into the empty building. Inside, the air smelled faintly of ozone and dust. Marcus dropped to his knees, still alert, scanning the perimeter. Kara placed the biocore on a reinforced table. Its glow was softer now, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. It's stable, she said, as if reading the device itself. For now. Marcus leaned against the wall, letting himself breathe. So, what now? We hide until the Syndicate forgets? Or do we actually do something? Kara's eyes gleamed with determination. We do something. We expose them. And your bureau. If we don't, this core will be used to control everyone. All of it, every species, every world. They'll decide who lives and who doesn't. Marcus swallowed. His mind flashed back to Earth, to the bureau, to the secret projects no one was supposed to know about. Could it really be true? Could humans have created something so dangerous? Rin walked up beside him, her small hand resting on the skimmer's controls. Kara has a plan. She's going to send the core's data to every free station, every independent council, every journalist who isn't owned by a corporation. They'll see the truth. And maybe then they can stop the Syndicate and your bureau from using it. Marcus's pulse quickened. That's ambitious, Kara smiled faintly. Ambitious, yes, but necessary. They spent hours preparing. Kara connected the core to a series of transmitters she had salvaged from the abandoned lab, her fingers moving with practiced precision. Marcus watched her work, impressed despite himself. Even in this alien city surrounded by danger, she moved like someone born to fight for justice. At one point, Rin glanced nervously toward the ceiling. Do you think they'll find us? Marcus looked up, eyes narrowing. It's possible. But if they do, we'll deal with it. One step at a time. And soon, as if on cue, the warning alarms went off. Not from the lab, but from outside. Metallic footsteps, shouts in Virelian dialect. They were here. The Syndicate hadn't given up. Kara's eyes narrowed. They won't leave without the core. Marcus drew his pistol, checking the energy levels. Then we make sure they don't get it. The first enforcer burst through the door, swinging a plasma baton. Marcus fired, hitting the figure squarely in the chest. Sparks flew, but the enforcer didn't go down. Instead, it staggered back, growling mechanically. Kara grabbed a side panel and pulled a lever, releasing a cascade of heavy debris that blocked the next attacker. Rin fired the skimmer's built-in turrets from the corner of the room, covering them as more syndicate soldiers poured in. The safe house became a storm of light and noise, the air filled with sparks, the smell of ozone, and the thrum of energy weapons. Marcus realized quickly that this wasn't going to be a simple fight. They had to hold them off long enough for Kara to finish transmitting the core's data. He moved through the chaos like a shadow, precise and controlled, taking down anyone who got too close. Every shot, every maneuver was careful. The goal wasn't just survival, it was success. Minutes passed like hours. The core's pulse grew faster, the soft blue light brightening with each second. Kara's hands moved quickly across the console. Almost done, she muttered. The syndicate was relentless. Another group of enforcers forced their way in from the back, firing plasma bolts. Marcus shouted for Kara and Rin to move. They ducked behind tables and crates, the light of the core reflecting on their tense faces. "Keep going," Marcus yelled. "We can't let them stop you." Kara's fingers flew across the controls, her lips moving in a whisper of code and commands. The core responded, its light now bright enough to illuminate the entire room, casting long shadows. The syndicate soldiers hesitated, momentarily blinded. Then a hum filled the room. The core's data began transmitting, not to one place but hundreds. Stations, ships, independent channels, secure networks all across the galaxy. Kara let out a small sigh of relief. "It's done," she said, voice trembling. "They'll see everything. The truth." The syndicate's hesitation was all Marcus needed. He pushed forward, clearing the remaining enemies with precision shots. Rin helped Kara lift the core safely. "We need to move," Marcus said. "They'll regroup fast." They exited through a hidden tunnel, emerging into a quiet alley. The city was still wet with rain, glowing in neon haze, but for the first time that night it felt almost peaceful. Kara looked at the core, its glow now soft and rhythmic, like a heartbeat returning to calm. Rin smiled. "We did it. We actually did it." Marcus looked at both sisters, his heart heavy with a mixture of admiration and doubt. "You two, you're amazing. But this isn't over. Your enemies won't stop just because the galaxy knows the truth. They'll come for you." Kara nodded, determination in her eyes. "Then we'll keep fighting." "We can't let fear control us. Not anymore." Marcus finally allowed himself a smile. "Maybe humanity has some things to learn from you, maybe. Some of us aren't as bad as I thought." Rin laughed softly. "You're part of that some?" Marcus chuckled, shaking his head. "Maybe, but don't tell anyone." They moved through the streets, blending into the city's shadows. Behind them, Virelia 9 continued its restless night, unaware that the truth had just been released into the galaxy. The syndicate would not stop, but the seeds of hope were now sown. Kara looked at Marcus and Rin. "We're not alone," she said quietly. "We have allies now," Marcus nodded. "Then let's make sure we stay that way. The galaxy needs people who will stand for what's right." As the first light of Virelia's dawn began to cut through the violet haze, the three of them stood together, ready to face whatever came next. They had survived impossible odds, and in doing so they had shown that courage, truth, and the human, or even Virelian spirit, could shine brighter than any darkness. For Marcus, it was more than a mission. It was a lesson, and for Kara and Rin, it was the beginning of a fight that would shape the future. One that would prove, beyond doubt, that even in a galaxy filled with corruption, fear, and greed, bravery and hope could never be destroyed. Together they walked into the rising light, carrying the core of truth, ready to fight for justice, ready to inspire a galaxy to remember that no power could ever silence the heart that refused to yield.